There is something sneaking up on all of us, and it is getting harder and harder to avoid. This is going to be kind of I hope, a wake up call to all of you, and I'm speaking just as much to myself as I am to anybody else. But this is going to be why you must start weight training, especially if you are a man and you are over the age of 25. I am 27. I have been weight training for about the last little over 10 years now. But it is so important because this American lifestyle and diet is creeping up on everybody. I see it over and over again. People that are honestly, you just think they're older than they are because they're not taking care of themselves. And in my opinion, weight training is one of the best things that you can do. First of all, it's going to get your heart rate up. It does sort of a cardiovascular exercise, but you're going to get that muscle gain. And when you carry more muscle mass, there are just so many health benefits. It is so worth it. And the thing that I want to mention is, number one is the sooner that you start this, the earlier you're going to get the results. So I see a lot of people putting this off, like, hey, I'm young, I'm in shape, I'm going to drink beer, have fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, the longer you take to actually build that muscle, the harder it's going to be. If you're someone that's been training for a long time, since you were a teenager, you're going to carry that muscle mass pretty much through life, as long as you keep maintaining, which is incredible. And this has been paramount in my life. I have built muscle when I was a teenager, not a ton of muscle, but I was kind of a hard gainer. It built some muscle up, and I now have the habit of going to the gym and working out at least about 4 to 5 times per week. I don't get there every single day, but I try to, right? But if I have something going on that weekend, I may not go every single day, but it is a habit in my life. I never skip more than about 2 or 3 days before I'm back in the gym. And so starting today is the best thing that you can do, both for your body and for building that habit that's going to allow you to continue. And this is just a great mentality for all of life, right? Whether it's starting that business, starting that new side hustle, talking to that girl, whatever it may be. The ability to say, I'm going to do this thing and actually follow through is incredible. And I think there's no better place to start than getting a gym routine. And what I would urge you guys to do, if you're looking at just starting working out, definitely err on the side of doing less versus doing more. Because I would rather that you do 20 push-ups per day and do that for the rest of your life than to have this great, 3 or 4 day split that you stick to for a week or two, right? Does that make sense? And so definitely start off small and then stay consistent with it. We want to maintain that consistency. And from there, you'll actually start to see results. You'll be excited and you can scale up the progress from there. That's how I started. That's how I'd recommend everybody else start. We want to keep you consistent. And the second thing is just that food is getting worse. There's no denying that the American diet is not amazing, right? It is not good for us. And I feel like in our parents' generations, it was easier to get away with eating not as clean. And they were probably eating a lot cleaner than they even thought, right? You were eating a lot of game meat that was, from the woods, and, the cows and everything were fed less grain. Like everything was less processed and more healthy. And so today I feel like you have to take extra steps to try to keep that stuff out of your diet. And if one of the things that we can do is start working out earlier, that is great, because we're probably consuming some extra calories that our grandparents were not consuming, even though we're eating the same foods. I was actually looking at an interesting study, and they were comparing, I can't remember if it was like macaroni and cheese or something like that, from say like 50 years ago, and it had so many more ingredients today versus it wasn't. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember exactly if it was macaroni and cheese, but it was something like that, kind of a staple food that you might have. You wouldn't consider to be amazingly healthy, but just kind of like, okay. And it was a lot worse today. It just had a lot more fillers and stuff that you didn't really want to be putting in your body today. And so if you were consuming that, a couple of generations ago, you could eat that and not be gaining weight, right? Today, you start eating that stuff and you probably do need to work out and get some of those extra calories out. So long story short, I just think it takes extra steps. It's a little bit harder today to stay in shape. And by in shape, I don't mean carrying muscle mass. I just mean not carrying excess body fat than it was generations ago. And I definitely don't eat the cleanest, that is for sure. I like having my fun foods, but I would rather eat kind of more what I want to eat and just work out versus the opposite, which is not eat what I want, just have some leafy greens and some salads, have some rabbit food and not work out. So I would rather work out and eat what I want, is for the most part. And the third thing is health problems. I see so many younger people now, and it's, breaks my heart to see, but they have a lot of health problems, stuff that you used to see in, a lot of older folks or grandparents, and now younger and younger people are getting it. And it has to be because of this diet paired with not working out, right? They're just not getting the exercise that they used to. And I'm guilty of this. I'm sitting here at my computer. I've got my blue light blocking glasses. So I am guilty of this as well. It's something that you have to be cognizant of. We're spending so much time in front of our phones and in front of our computers. And I was going to say there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just the way that the daily life is these days. But that's a topic for a different video as far as what we can do to minimize that. And I do think that probably is healthy to minimize that. But it is the way that it is, right? There's probably no changing that. A lot of us are going to have jobs in front of the computer, in front of our phones. We just need these things to survive these days. And so if we can combat that by working out, so we just need to be cognizant of that and start training earlier. I just think it is so, so important. I feel like it used to be you would only train, like a couple generations ago, you would only train if you wanted to put on muscle. And now I feel like you want to train to actually stay in shape and keep body fat off. I feel like that is the difference now. And the fourth reason why you should start training today, especially if you're a man over 25, is going to be for your mental health. So stress, anxiety, all those things I think can be greatly reduced by having a good regimen. It is going to do wonders for your mental health to have a training regimen, get in the gym, start building some muscle, and it's going to be good for your body. It's going to be good for your brain. It kind of gives you that mental release there, but also it is going to be great for your self-confidence because when you are looking good, you are feeling good. And so that I think helps a lot of anxiety and stress and things like that. May not eliminate it completely, but it definitely is going to help. It's definitely going to be something that is going to be in your corner if you are having a good training regimen, getting at least to the gym a couple of times per week, even if it's nothing crazy. Like I said, even if you're not going to the gym, start off with 20 push-ups a day. Commit to that. It is fantastic. It will make a difference. And if nothing else, it's going to be a building block. Build that in. After a month of doing that, you'll probably get to the point where you're like, hey, I can do 50 push-ups. That's not that big of a deal. You'll be able to work up to it. And from there, it's just a snowball effect. And eventually you become very difficult to stop. And that's the encouraging part of this. Once you stick with this for a month or two, you get very difficult to stop because if you show up every single day, pretty much nothing can stop you, which is pretty incredible. People really underestimate what they can get done in a year. We always are looking for that quick fix or what's going to change my life tomorrow. And I think you think, okay, this is going to be, life-changing here in a month or two. It probably won't be, but what it is going to do is you'll look back a year from now and go, oh, wow, I did make it a lot further than I expected. So this is just something I've been thinking about, kind of mulling over. I wanted to put it into a video form. I know this is a pretty simple video, but I just wanted to get it out there. Let me know what you guys think, if this resonates with you, but this is what I've been thinking about over the last couple of weeks. And if you like seeing content like this, be sure to follow, like, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one.